Okay, here we are at 5665 Crowley, and we're working with the Evan of the AZ Property Inspections, and so we're kind of going over the list here. So what do we have here to start off with?
So what we're going to start with here is we're looking at the exterior walls, and we're looking at areas where we have cracking, separation, anywhere where moisture can get in and potentially cause a greater issue. So we always recommend caulking and sealing all gaps, cracks, and openings at exterior walls, in particular around windows and doors. So you can see here cracking at the stucco near window framing. You've got the garage side door here, the exterior trim starting to pull away from the stucco walls. Moisture will get back behind that and rot that trim out if it's not sealed up. And then this is just cracking up at the roof eave level at a roof-to-wall transition. So
okay, where's that roof-to-wall transition?
it's out here at the front of the house.
We're front of the house?
On top of the roof, so you've got your porch overhang,
right,
and then you've got a slope that comes down over here like this,
okay,
and that's right, it's right where those
great.
Meet. We're noting prior wall patching, consult seller on what the patching involved. You always want to make sure that patching is done properly. The trim, so this here is at the backyard eave or east side of the house here. You can see we've got wood, parts of the wood fascia starting to peel away, and so what that does exposes unpainted wood, and that's where wood rot can start to manifest. As we move into the attic here, we've got some truss cords with some truss ties that are not properly connected or securing the truss components. That was in 2 separate locations, so we recommend having further evaluation done and correction. As we move on to the roof here, we've got a tile roof. We've got loose or displaced rake tiles, both at the west and the east side of the house. And so what that entails is that the fasteners have popped out of the trim or fascia there, and so then those rake tile are no longer secured. So with the right directional gust of wind, they can actually pull off the roof. And here's another example there of the pop nail. And then this here is a cut tile that was not cut properly, so it does not slide underneath the hip ridge there, and what we have is exposed underlayment. As you can see, the sun is hitting it directly. Underlayment is not to be exposed to the sun. It deteriorates more rapidly. You will have a leak there eventually if that's not corrected. We've got damaged mortar pack, just one to be found at this particular time, but it plays a role in holding those 2 ridge transitions together. And then we've got evidence of prior repairs up there. Some tile that were broken were glued back together. So just making a note of that. Vent flashings. So what we have here is an ABS vent stack pipe with a metal flashing that surrounds it. Is meant to be folded into the ABS pipe to direct the flow of rain or moisture into the pipe. You can see here it did not make it over the entire lip of the edge of the ABS pipe, and so water will get between the 2 there. Any water that makes it between the 2 materials does make its way into the attic. The garage doors, we have a garage door. We have a gasket or seal at the bottom. You can see here it's short and damaged, so it's deteriorated and not long enough. So I recommend having it replaced. And as you can see here, when it doesn't seal the bottom, it allows insects, pests into the garage that we don't want, and then any moisture that gets blown up the driveway will come into the garage as well. This is a picture of the water meter vault out at the front of the property. It's full of water right now.
Really?
Now, although the meter was not spinning at the time of inspection, it's a lot of water that's not going where it should be going, and it didn't appear that any of the drips out there had run recently. So I would have that further evaluated to ensure that there's not...
But the meter wasn't moving.
Meter's not moving. So, I mean, potentially it could be a leak between the shutoff and the meter, which is the city, But ultimately, you don't want piping sitting in water like that long term. I would start with them, have the utility come out, assess what it might have been, and then once they've ruled out it's not them, go from there.
Okay.
Gas piping, this is supplied to the furnace in the attic. It's not properly anchored, so when you go to shut off the valve, for example, the pipe moves quite a bit. It should not do that. It should be stable and secure and immovable. The HVAC system. So I got very good split. System is operating in the zones as it should. Furnace is also operating as it should. What I'm noting here is that the air handler has a few air leaks, meaning I can feel cold air blowing out of these locations. We don't want any air leakage into the attic. That's money lost. Typically when it's serviced, this is a part of a clean and service for an HVAC system. That technician should have sealed all this up. So it's pretty much good to go until he comes out the next year. And then just based on age, I know in the spuds he noted that he had it cleaned, I think, cleaned and serviced in May, but ultimately we want to make sure that it's serviced every year properly. The electrical panel has an open void at the bottom of it. We want to seal that if it's not being used with circuit and conduit. Loose switch plate, as you can see, it's starting to pull away from the wall here, so the screw's probably not threading all the way in. That's right there off of the patio door.
Let's see, this one over here?
Yep, just on the other side of that.
Okay.
Yep, that three-way.
Got it. Oh, yeah, right down here.
Yeah. We've got a couple of interior doors that don't latch properly. One is a closet door here off of the laundry room, and then the other one, I believe, is a bathroom door.
Okay.
Weep holes. Looks like they may have added a window here in the nook. This is one of the exterior weep holes, which is a drain hole for the window. It's plugged with something. So most likely the installer, if this is the new window here, which I believe this is the window that's pictured, they did not remove the wrapping and stuff that comes prepackaged with the window when they installed it. So we want to remove that out of there so that window drains properly. Interior of windows, you're starting to see some separation from a house that's settling. So we always recommend caulking and sealing those gaps or separations. Floor grout is missing or damaged in some areas. Typically at areas right up to a baseboard, or in bathrooms along the tub or behind the toilet. So we recommend any of these areas where you have a potential leak from a fixture be patched. Moderate interior wall and ceiling cracks noted. This is just a horizontal crack coming off of a window frame in that front guest bedroom.
I see those all the time. Is that a real problem?
No, it's not. If they start to get wide, or you start to see distinct details that we look for, then it can be a sign that there's an issue with the foundation over there. But the foundation looked to be in good shape. Okay. We got post-tension slab here.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so this is, I would say, consistent with houses here in Arizona. Separation or gaps between the countertops and the backsplashes in the bathroom should be caulked and sealed to prevent moisture intrusion. This is the guest tub shower faucet handle. I noticed in the spuds that he said he repaired this. It was not on there very well. As I went to go turn the water on, it popped right off. So recommend having this repaired or corrected properly so that it's not an issue and doesn't affect the mixing valve, because once you damage the mixing valve, you've got issues.
Get to replace it.
Recommend caulking or grouting at tubs and showers is required. So this is where the drywall meets the tub here, tub shower enclosure. We've got some gapping, so when you've got a curtain preventing water from splashing out, they don't do a great job. So water tends to get out there. If there are cracks or gaps, the moisture gets in there. It'll do damage from the inside of the wall cavity behind the drywall. And then just grout in the master or grout in the shower enclosure is just cracked or dried out. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, so not a very long report, just some things that kind of come with as the years go by.
Right.
I would guess that the issue with the attic trusses, that was probably just something missed upon move-in.
Yeah.
So.
When they originally did the installation of the truss.
Yeah, when they bought the house and they were about to sign over, if they had a third-party inspector come in,
right,
he would have caught that. Most likely they didn't.
Right.
If they knew
it's a new house, yeah.
Knew the builder,
Most
they knew the
people,
superintendent. They
yeah.
didn't have to do that. They would just say, "I can see that, fix that," and he would do it. But who's getting up there? So.
So let's see. What's usually the builder warranty on something like that?
Usually it falls just within that 1 or 2 year that they offer.
Okay.
I know sometimes roofs you can get more on a roof and a little bit longer, but
maybe even the truss you might be able to get a little longer too. But
yeah, so it doesn't hurt. I mean, they're still building,
right,
so it doesn't hurt. They're not like they're still in the area. So,
right.
And he, like I said, the seller knows the superintendent that oversaw this house. So,
oh, really? It does?
Yeah, that's what he shared with me. So
okay.
He was able to obviously point things out and say, "Hey, I want that done. I want this done, and give me some more into this." And that guy was very accommodating. So perhaps he can help that process along.
Very good. All right. Got any other words of wisdom here?
No, I mean it's a beautiful house, and it just needs a little bit of TLC
stuff.
and some stuff that just needs to be
normal
righted. And nothing out of the normal here.
Okay.
We're pretty happy with this. My average right now for report length is 25 pages.
25 pages?
Yeah.
And what are we at here? We're
9.
9. Okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
I had one that was 81 pages.
Oh,
so.
That's,
that was Sun Lakes, one of the old phases. So.
Yeah, the older the home, the longer the report. Got off the edge of the house here.
Okay, I asked him where the cut tile was that was too short there, and he says it's right about over here, looking out the back window. Kitchen table here, so this is the patio right out here. So it's a double hip roof there, and it's one of those valleys right there.
Yeah, and once you're up on the roof, you can't miss it.
Okay.
The underlayment's shown, staring at you in the face.
Great. Okay, so that was the one thing I needed was just the location of that.